Hey everybody, it's time for the Grumpy Guy Show. This is Derek talking about episode number 73, The Wonderful World of Windows, recorded on Monday, November 28th, 2022. Tonight's topics are He Actually Did It, Disney's Making Up Crap Again, and Windows Sucks. Stick around, it's a good episode. Good evening everybody, welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So I have to apologize. I wasn't intending to take last week off, but more laptop issues. So we have our topics from last week, and I've just been dealing with trying to get the laptop set up, and give you guys a little idea of how frustrating it's been. I'm running Windows right now. Yeah.
Never thought I'd hear you say that sentence.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, my intent was to actually have them running dual boot so that I could pick either Windows or Linux, because with the photo editing that I'm working on, Adobe, yes, their web-based product is pretty darn good, and I can do most of what I need, but there's a few things here and there that they're really hard to figure out and not necessarily easy to do. And of course, I'm also paying for a small subscription, so I don't have a whole lot of storage space, and with starting up the vlog, I'm really working through a bunch of pictures, and I'll fill up the storage space rather quickly if I don't do it locally. So I wanted dual boot, but here's the problem, and it's the reason that I spent most of the weekend playing around with this. Every time I installed Windows first, and then I tried to install Linux, it would overwrite the bootloader. Now, you don't know much about that, but some people watching this might. But then, I turn around and I say, okay, well, let me install Linux first and then do Windows. Well, that overwrites the bootloader. So it's a mess. And it's going to take some playing around to do. But eventually I'll get there. But until I have time to actually work on it and play around with it and do it, I'm stuck with Windows because I'm tired. What the heck just happened?
You froze.
Something went wrong. Oh, man. Yes, thank you, Microsoft. Oh, look at that. It's back on. I'm not even going to bother with a stupid background now, because, jeez, what a pain. So anyway, here I am playing with Windows, and I actually went with Windows 11 because somewhere in all of my searching, I saw something that said, "Oh, by the way, not a problem. We can fix this, but it's only free if you're using Windows 11." So I said, all right, well, whatever. I had heard bad things about Windows 11, and of course I use Windows 10 at work. So, I said, well, all right, I'll just go with Windows 11, see what it's about. Worst case scenario, I can wipe it out and start over again. One of the advantages of the way they've done laptops lately is there's something stored in the BIOS that says this machine was originally sold using Windows 10, which means that I can install Windows 10 over and over and over again. And of course, Windows 11 was a free upgrade from Windows 10, so I get to install that. Yay me. We may actually want to try it with your laptop, because I'm looking at the video on mine and it's crystal clear, and it was never this crystal clear running Linux. So it's possible that it was the version of Linux that I was running It's also quite possible that the drivers for the video card just suck for Linux, which wouldn't surprise me. But we might want to take a look at your laptop and see if maybe we can bounce you back to Windows. Just to see what it does. I don't know. But at any rate, so what do you say we transition to our first topic?
Our world famous transitions.
That's right, folks. Don't forget it.
The famous transitions.
Yeah. So, believe it or not, folks, Ryan actually put in a couple of topics. So go ahead. What do you got?
I did. So this first thing is that I saw that after a poll he ran on Twitter, Elon Musk reinstated Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was all kinds of talk about that on how Trump twisted this around. Instead of being, hey, you know what, you're welcome back, he twisted around to say, oh, he needs me so badly. He's like, oh, come on, you gotta.
And in one of it, and in a pretty strange post on that Trump made on his little Truth Social thing, he said that apparently Elon would have to call him daddy for him to return to Twitter.
Yeah.
And kiss his feet.
Yeah. I don't see it happening.
That's quite kinky.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, and
yeah, no, Trump is not abandoning Truth Social. It's his baby.
Yeah, he's not, and not only is he not abandoning it, but it's going to be one of those stupid little games, and honestly, Twitter's in trouble. I mean, I think we've talked about how Elon went in and he fired half the staff. Well,
yep.
Yeah, and some
it's
people
amazing
say,
that anybody's actually still working there.
Well, here's the thing. See, what he did that thinking, well, I'm going to save all this money. And then he found out that, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to save as much as I thought because I've got to pay them 90 days salary. So then...
And then he begged for him to come back.
Well, here's the thing. He sent something out saying, basically saying, that was a good joke, wasn't it? Yeah, you better come back to the office or you're fired. And, of course, if they don't go back to the office, then pretty
He's
simple.
He's got to pay them anyway.
No, if they don't go back to the office, that's job abandonment. The problem is, it ain't going to work. Because they've all got... Yeah, he did it in such a brilliant and stupid way. He sent them emails and locked them out of their accounts. So, okay, all of these people have these emails that I'm sure they either printed or forwarded to their personal accounts. So any labor lawyer is going to look at that and say, ha ha ha, cha-ching. Yeah, they're just going to suck that money right out of him. So he's screwed either way. And of course, anybody who's smart enough to go to a lawyer on that, they're gonna say, yeah, so you were supposed to pay me for 90 days, and now I've got to deal with this court thing, and I've got to pay a lawyer, and well, this is gonna hurt my reputation. So, I'm going to need 120 days of pay, at least, plus legal fees. So he's not saving any money on this. And he's not going to get these people to go back unless they're desperate to remain working at Twitter, which, don't get me wrong, some of them are.
Not.
Some of them are. Some of them called it their dream job in interviews that they had. And I'm just like, okay, you just got fired and this guy's a jackass. And now you're saying that it's your dream job, which means he
looks like a jackass.
Yeah, I mean, calling it your dream job, now he's got some dirt on you that's going to make it even harder for your lawyer to do the job. Because you obviously want to work there. So, I don't know. But Twitter has lost, they've lost over 50% of their top advertisers.
Hmm.
And by losing that many, that means that this company that has never had a profitable year is really going to go into tank.
Hmm.
And some people are speculating that he did this, he did this purchase to sell it, just like a quick sale is why he finally decided, okay, well, I'm not going to go to court. I'm just going to get this and I'm going to sell it real quick.
Hmm.
Problem is, he's stupid and he went through.
Yeah, he's not smart.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody who's, who's built up a huge wealth,
He's great at advertising himself, though.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to, you can't deny that he's done well at building companies. You know,
Hmm.
he bought Tesla and Tesla's exploded because, of what he's done. And yeah, the same thing happened with SpaceX. But he he's going into a space that he has absolutely no knowledge about at all. And to get rid of all the people that he's gotten rid of, that's just stupid. And then he
Hmm.
decided, oh well, first we talked about it before, where he said, "Oh well, I'll have SpaceX advertise on Twitter." Okay, well that's really going to open things up for the FCC because that's that ain't going to work very well with as far as them. And he's already been in trouble with the FCC multiple times.
FCC or FTC?
Both.
I was gonna say, I imagine that both would actually be involved.
Yeah, yeah. So he's been in trouble with them before, and
Of course he has.
yeah, to the point where even his announcement on purchasing, I think I mentioned it on here. When he first started purchasing stocks, the Twitter stocks,
Hmm.
he was supposed to disclose once he got to a certain point. He was supposed to disclose that to the FTC, and he didn't until he was like, I think 2 or 3% beyond when he was supposed to.
Hmm.
And then it was kind of it wasn't an actual legal announcement of it, a legal declaration to the FTC. It was a tweet, kind of a ha ha ha, I just bought all this Twitter stock. Ha ha ha.
Of course it
Okay.
was. He
So,
tweets everything.
yeah, so I believe he's being investigated for that. And then you're going to top
Hmm.
it off with, everything else that's going on. But so part of his panic, because he owes a lot of people a ton of money for this purchase, because his wealth is all in stocks. He doesn't actually have the
Yep.
cash. So what happened? Well, suddenly Tesla stocks took a huge tumble.
Of course they did.
He lost something like $100 billion in value or something like that in a matter of like 5 days. I'm just like, yeah, you're brilliant. Why don't you go threaten to buy another company, you moron?
And what's even better is that people are boycotting all his companies just because of where he lands politically, which is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know where he lands politically, and I really don't care.
He claims he's a lifelong Democrat that just voted Republican for the first time,
Yeah,
which I don't believe.
I don't know.
Knowing how he seems to be a big fan of Trump, I don't think he's a Democrat at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't tell. These celebrities, they get in their own head, especially when they've got a lot of money like him.
Hmm.
They he throws his money around like it's a toy or something. But I don't know.
Yep.
So before we get to our next topic.
We have a sponsor. No,
No,
not really.
not really. I gotta pause. I gotta pause the recording,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll come right back because, guess what, folks? Looks like another freaking failure on Windows. Our recording software is just showing a white screen, so
Wow.
hold on. We'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, we're back. Bet you didn't notice, did you? Oh, because I'm pretty good.
Go to sponsor.com/grumpy guy.
Yeah, right.
Promo code.
Yeah.
To
I
get
don't know.
5% off or whatever every purchase.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. So, what's your next topic?
Well, Disney, again, announced their first gay character. Let me say that again. They announced it again. Seriously, it seems that every time Disney has a new movie, they're announcing that it's the first gay character. This is what, the 20th time?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I figured, but
to me, it really shouldn't matter because, they're a character.
not only should it not matter, but this they've done this before.
Yeah,
So many
but,
times.
but the whole thing
It's
is...
not the first time.
The whole thing is, to me, if the character's gay, then, number one, most people are going to be able to tell. But number two, the only reason you make a big deal out of it like this is for publicity.
Exactly.
It's got nothing to do with the storyline itself. It has nothing to do with the quality of the movie or TV show or whatever it is. It has to do with getting publicity. Because, oh, look at us, we're so inclusive. Well, you know what? If you were really truly inclusive, you wouldn't be pointing out that somebody is gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever. You wouldn't be pointing this stuff out. Plain and simple.
By the way, for anyone who cares what movie it is, it's called Strange Worlds, and according to a couple of tweets I saw, it bombed at the box office.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the worst openings for a Disney movie in, I think it was like 30 years or something like that.
Yikes.
Yeah. But I could guess that at least some of it has to do with the fact that, what you're saying here. Oh, it's the first gay character. Well, some people are going to remember the last time they said it was the first gay character, which was
And
what
the time
movie?
before that, and the time before that, and the time before that,
Yeah, I
and the
mean,
time before that one, and before that one, and before that one.
It's ridiculous.
And then there was the actual first time, 20 years ago.
What movie was it?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm disappointed. You'd think you'd do some research for the show, Ryan. Come on, we do so much research here.
No, we don't. We just complain.
That's right, folks. If we haven't made it clear to you, all we do is open our mouth and yap.
We do.
We write down something that ticks us off or annoys us or whatever and talk about it. Who cares? If you want to correct us, hey, I'm willing to listen to it, Had somebody correct us on the helmet law a long time ago. The bicycle helmets. Hey.
And if any of my friends watch, then they'll probably correct me on when the first gay Disney character was. It was probably more like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And not actually 20.
I don't know. But like I said,
there are a certain couple of Disney nerds that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, well, if you
neither
want
of which
to,
will probably watch the show.
If you want to comment, go on to Facebook, drop it on there, or Ryan's on Twitter. I'm technically on Twitter, but I haven't logged in 4 or 5 years. I don't know. No, you looked at it. My last tweet was 2018 or something like that, right?
Yep, 2018.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Well, hey, I was close. I said 4 or 5. That was the
Yep.
last time I logged in because I just found it annoying as hell. And I doubt very much it's
Last
gotten
time you
any
said it
better.
was 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, well then you corrected me, so
It's been half that time.
yeah. But it's just
Uh, I also put in my Discord server for my friends.
there you go. So there's plenty of ways you can get in touch with us. You can go Twitter, you can go Facebook, you can go yeah, well if you're a friend of Ryan's, you can go into his Discord. And if I had if we had enough people on here, what the heck? I'd start up a Discord just for the show, but we
Technically, you already have a Discord server.
I do?
That's pretty much dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. But we could start one if we get enough interest,
We
we
could
could
rework that one
we yeah,
into a server for the show.
we just start a new one for the show.
Hmm.
But we'll see what happens. It's a matter of getting the audience to grow, get bigger. I put us on all those platforms there, and I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks to see what we're doing, but
Here's our to-do list regarding our audience. Number 1, expand. Number 2, get bigger. Number 3, grow in size. And number 4, get larger.
oh, I can't even look to see. Dang, I'm not logged in. I was gonna look and see how many views we had of the last episode, but I'm not
Probably
logged in,
one.
so no, we've had 3 or 4 the last few weeks, which it's been pretty odd.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been pretty odd, but the other episodes that we've had,
We're
or not the
popular.
not the other episodes, the other platforms. Some of them don't give me statistics.
Hmm.
Some of them show that we've got a couple of that we picked up a couple of listeners, because all the other platforms are just listening platforms. If you're listening and you want to actually watch the video, you're welcome to. It's only available on Spotify.
I doubt that you want to look at either of us, though. We're not the most good-looking men in the world.
Yeah, but it's available on Spotify. You do not need a Spotify account to watch it. You'll see ads, I'm sure. I don't know. They're not ads that we're
Probably.
getting paid for, but yeah, who knows? I've considered putting it on YouTube. Debating on that. For right now,
I think you should.
Anchor and Spotify, they kind of along the lines of Lightning McQueen there at the end of the first Cars, where he realizes, well, Rusty's gave me my big break.
Yep.
Well, Anchor and Spotify gave us the break to start this, so
It's where we started, but it's technically not where we could grow.
yeah, and that's
We
why
could grow on Spotify, but
I'm kind of debating on it
I think
because
YouTube could get us a bigger audience.
yeah, and like I said, that's why I'm debating on it, because you know we're not growing on Anchor. I can't tell how many video views we're getting on Spotify because they don't, even though Anchor is owned by Spotify, Spotify doesn't give views. They don't give view information on the video podcasts. So,
Hmm.
I don't know. And because I've stopped with all the animations I used to put in. I used to have little things bouncing around that were popping up that had to do with the topic that we're talking about.
Hmm.
And that's why we were recording. That's why we record on Mondays normally, and I post on Wednesday to give me time to do that stuff. Well, I haven't been doing that because just time. It took a lot of time, and if I'm not getting people to watch,
Not
that's
worth it.
yeah. I mean, to take 3 hours to do the editing and put in little gifs, whatever you want to call it, of
Jif
things.
is peanut butter.
Yeah, well, whatever. According to the inventor of it, it is Jif. So,
Well, fuck the inventor.
but anyway, so not knowing how many people are actually watching the video and everything, it's hard to spend 3 hours searching for these things, adding them in for a half-hour episode. Tough to do. Tough to continue to do. But if we move to Spotify, or if we move to YouTube, I may start doing that again, because then we'll get views. We'll get view counts. So not necessarily get views, but we'll get counts on who's watching.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem there is it's really hard to get out there on YouTube, without spending a lot of money. I can find somebody
to create bots.
Yeah. Without spending a lot of money to...
I'll give you a hint. He lives in this house.
Yeah. To do it...
You can hear me right now.
To do it correctly, without having to worry about ever getting, slapped on the wrist or whatever. To do that, we'd end up having to spend a lot of money. And I don't want to spend any money. It'd be completely different if we had, a good audience that was interactive, that, really truly listened, and I knew they did, because then, yeah, I could justify it. But, for us just to get on here and basically complain just to, give myself some mental, like some stress release or whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to spend more than what I've spent for, like, the microphones. The microphones weren't dirt cheap, but they weren't extremely expensive either, so...
And the light. My light.
Well, I didn't spend that. You did.
I paid you for it, didn't I?
Yeah. But still, you paid for it.
Technically, you spent the money.
Yeah, but you paid for it, though, so it doesn't matter.
So
it's still your cost, not mine. But I don't know. It's one of those things I keep going back and forth on. But, if anybody's listening or watching and would prefer it to be on YouTube, let us know.
Let us know.
I'm not going to take it off of Spotify, but I can post it to YouTube as well. It's easy enough to do. Won't be any better resolution, because we're just using the cameras built into the laptop. Obviously, mine is better than it usually is because, well, as I spoke of earlier, Windows. Except when it crashes. But...
which led to our little ad break.
No, that was...
If you don't have Spotify Premium.
That was OBS that crashed, not...
Oh, that was OBS?
Yeah. No, it was earlier on where it cut me right out. I don't know what it did to the audio, but it shut my camera off for some stupid reason.
I don't know what it did to the audio for the recording, but you seemed pretty fine for the call.
Yeah, the recording was probably all right. Which, I do have to say, you may have seen me looking off to the side quite a bit. I've been watching that because I noticed early on that I was like maxing out on the volume, so I had to turn that down. And hopefully people didn't jump off of the thing. And I'll try to cut the volume down so that it's not blasting your ears while you can't hear Ryan. But since it's one recording, I don't know that it'll actually do that. So.
But, oh look, we got off track again.
Yeah, we did.
That's normal.
Yeah. And you know what, folks? Because of the issues we had, I can't tell how long we've gone on so far on this episode. So, I think we're going to have to call it a night.
There's the music in the background.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard it. And in case you can't tell, the music is put in afterwards.
Good night.